Hey, what's going on? In this video, I'm going to share with you how you can replace your 50K plus content writing marketing team with Claude Code. And so understanding that Claude Code might be a little bit overwhelming for you. So I created this Excalidraw so that you can get a high level of understand the workflow and what's going on behind the scenes, but also how you should be thinking about it and how you should be talking with AI. Because once you understand the strategy behind it, this will get your juices flowing and see how you could apply it to your own business, which I believe is much more important than all of the execution stuff on the back end. So what's going on here is that first we are going to brainstorm ideas together, or if you already have one, amazing. We want to make sure that we give the AI the foundation that it needs to be successful. So if you just go into your ChatGPT and have nothing, then you're not going to get the results you want. Good inputs will equal good outputs. So we're going to give it as our personal context so you can fill this out and give it everything that you need and my writing style. So I gave it hundreds of stuff that I've written personally, and I said, hey, analyze this and incorporate it. So AI went in, analyzed all of my patterns, my tone patterns, my paragraph length, the way that I structure it, the sentence variety. So I'm sure there's somewhere out there, whether it be podcast, newsletter, you wrote a book, whatever it might be, you have a ton of data and content that you can feed into AI to be able to write exactly like you. That is going to be the most important part here as well. So once we have that all figured out, and based on, as you continue to talk with this, you could say in your personal context, you could keep adding it to it. Today, I had a huge meeting with somebody and I extracted these insights. You put that in here, that's going to pull it for like, hey, Claude, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to write about. And if you have that in there, oh, hey, what about that one time that you extracted that really key insight from that business meeting? Anything like that. Claude's going to suggest 3 to 5 hooks. Let's go back here. We gave it 100 of the top performing hooks that have performed well. So if you don't know what hooks to write, well, why don't you just take what's been working for others, just use that. There's a lot of tools and softwares that you can use to do so. Or you could just be collecting it based on what you see in the competition. If you're scrolling through LinkedIn, hey, I really like this hook. It caught my attention. Put it in here. You don't have to put it in here. You could just tell Claude to put it in there. Not only do we have the hook library, we also have hook writing guidelines. So again, they say, David Ogilvy says that you spend 80 cents of your marketing dollar on the headline. So whether that be your hook, the headline on an ad, the title on a YouTube video, that's 80% of the battle. So we need to make sure that we absolutely nail that. And we can't nail it unless we tell AI, hey, here's how to nail it. So we have the 5 types of hooks, powerful phrases that you can use, for how to format your hooks. Again, this is all for LinkedIn, but you can easily extrapolate it to anything of your choice, whether it be Instagram, whether it be a long form, whether it be a YouTube video. So again, laying the foundation, that is going to be the most important piece. Then what we're gonna have is, one thing that I was running into was I would have the writer and the editor. I would just try to have all of it in one go. And that's typically what you see when you write something in ChatGPT and you're not happy with the outputs. Now we're gonna separate that out. We're gonna say, hey, Claude, go to the writer first. We're going to draft it out. Then, based on the editing criteria that we have, boom, editing criteria. One big problem was the anaphora that sounded super robotic. Let's get rid of passive voice and corporate jargon, and you can put in must check everything here. We're going to make sure that the writer will pass it off to another AI agent in Claude, who is called the editor. So now you have a writer and an editor on your team all within your computer. The writer's going to pass it off, go through the editing criteria, send it back to the writer, and then he's going to write it again. Draft is sent to me. We review it. I publish it to LinkedIn. You could easily, if you have a scheduler like Buffer or any other tool, you could easily just send it there. To me, it takes 2 seconds to copy and paste it and post to LinkedIn. It's not a big deal. But if you are doing it, if you're trying to crank out hundreds of posts or delivering it for a service, of course, you can just automatically send it, have Claude send it through to your scheduler. So on top of that, we actually also put it into our CRM. I put it into Claude here on everything that I have written already so that it knows it has a bank of what I've written, especially if I go in and make some edits here and there, that it will continue to upload those style learnings. So every time I write a post and even when the full draft comes to me and I still want to make edits here and there, I'll send it back into Claude so that it will know every time. User prefers casual this, user removes technical details, user simplifies sentence structure, word choice prefers active directives. So this is continuously learning on how I like to write. Every time it gives me a draft and I'll give it feedback. So over time, this is only going to get better for you. Okay, now that we have all of the foundation set and the brief understanding of what the workflow does, this is the directives folder. So everything in here is going to be what I just showed you in the Excalidraw drawing. So let's do it. Let's run it. Hey, I'm looking to create a LinkedIn post targeting business owners about how it has never been easier to be generating top performing posts in LinkedIn that directly mimic your brand voice and style on demand with Claude Code, and now how you're able to. The main idea that I want to post about is you can have an entire content writing team at your fingertips, and all you have to do is talk to something like Claude Code and natural language to be generating top performing posts on repeat. So I had an idea, or you could go to Claude and say, hey, I need an idea. But let's see. So again, that was the brainstorming piece. What we're going to do is we're going to go through Claude Suggest 3 to 5 hooks. You can even see how it thinks. You can see its process of thinking. Let me read the LinkedIn content workflow directive, which is this right here. You've got a specific idea. So I'll skip to brainstorming and jump to hooks. Let me read the knowledge files first. What's your writing style? What's the LinkedIn writing guidelines? The knowledge. Oh, we got to grab from the hook library that you provided. How do we write the hook? The hook writing guidelines. What's his personal context? The more you put here, the better. Style learning. So again, got it, all the context. Here are 5 hook options for your topic, each based on a different template from the library written to the hook guidelines. The most powerful content team you're not using. Steal my process for writing on-brand LinkedIn post in 10 minutes. A full content writing team at your fingertips, no hiring requirement. Let's do something about how I replaced my entire content writing team with Claude Code. So you could either choose from here if you like them, or if you don't, hey, I just came up, boom. I actually really like this. I replaced my, before I kick off the writer and editor agents, any specific criteria for this draft, shorter than usual. So again, we could say, hey, I really want it to be aggressive. I want it to be 200 words. I want it to include this specific CTA to comment for this document. Make it a lead magnet so you can collect emails. Mention a video below. There's no specific call to action on this, and specific criteria for the draft. Let's make it a clean 150 words. and make sure to use a Spartan tone of voice. Be concise, brevity, no specific CTA. There's no video, just regular text posts. Again, we're targeting business owners who know that they need to be posting on LinkedIn to be able to generate more leads for their business and establish a brand authority and thought leadership. And if they're not doing that, they're invisible. So again, I am just sharing this through a manual process of this back and forth. You could eventually just get it to a point where you could, if you really wanted to, just say, hey, I have this idea, choose a hook and write it. You could just choose one of these hooks and you could just have it write it, and you could just have the full draft if you really wanted to. But I care about making sure that we have a good headline or a good hook, because that's going to be the most important part, and we want to nail that. And that's the highest leverage thing you can do, especially with these posts. So why not take the time to do that? Of course, again, you can fully automate it, whatever you would like to do. So it's doing exactly what we're doing. It's going to the writer sub agent. It's going to run it through the editor. And then it's going to give that draft back to me. So we can just have it run. Feel free to skip through to this video if you just want to wait for the end output. I'm just leaving it here so that you can kind of see what's going on in the back end. You can see what's going on in the back end. It talks about running the anaphora check, because that was the thing that was pissing me off the most on all of this stuff. And so I want to make sure that we're absolutely nailing that. So again, you can feel free to skip through this if you would like. I'm just leaving it here so that you can see how, I think it's nice to be able to see how the AI thinks, what it's doing on the back end. Because now I don't have, typically you see those N8N videos, you could see it going node by node, and now we don't have that. So wanted to keep it here. It's writing the current draft. Final editing checks. I replaced my entire content writing team with Claude Code. 1 tool, 0 employees. Content that sounds exactly like me. Here's how it works. Claude Code stores my writing style. Every post I've ever edited just feeds back into it. Now I just talk. Write a post about why most businesses waste money on ads. 90 seconds later, a draft appears, my voice. Unsettling how well it works. The old process took days, briefing a writer, reviewing drafts, giving feedback, more revisions, more feedback. Now it all takes minutes, all from a single prompt. The best part, it gets better over time. Every edit teaches. Content teams aren't dead, but the solo founder who already knows their voice, this is the move. That's probably something hey, this is the move. Again, boom, copy paste LinkedIn. And you could say, hey, I want to make this more punchy. I want to make this longer. Hey, it's 130 words. That was actually really clean. Can we expand it to 200 words? And make it more, let's induce an emotion of urgency. So they're going to be missing out if they don't start posting on LinkedIn today. Talk about how all of their competitors are doing it and establishing themselves as thought leaders while you're just sitting on the sidelines. So let's be a little bit more aggressive. But I mean, already this was an amazing post. I'll take this and I'll put that in and boom. And this is exactly how you can get the outputs that you want. Again, we did this manually. You could just include one little sentence right here. Hey, just make the hook and make the draft for me and post it to my scheduler. And you wouldn't even have to think about any of this. But again, just showing on what's going on in the back end. Expanded 200 words. So hope that was helpful. I hope this sparks some ideas on how you could be using Claude Code for yourself, but also how, again, I hope this was helpful in the sense of what you should be doing on the front end to be able to make sure that you give all of the inputs necessary to the AI so that you get the outputs that you want. Boom, going back to the writer and going back to the editor. And what's powerful about this is that now you can add a content researcher. So you're thinking, hey, I am thinking about, so we have a writer, we have an editor. It takes 2 seconds to be able to add a researcher. Hey, I'm thinking about how we could collect news articles from across these industries. And now you have a researcher who's communicating with your writer, who can communicate with your editor, and now you got a team of 3. And what more could you add? The social media poster, that's 4. I just talk. So super easy way. The urgency section hits hard. Every time you skip, someone else feels like, someone with worse ideas with better execution. That's the real cost of waiting. Attention you'll never get back. Content teams are dead. Meanwhile, your competitors are posting every day, building authority in your space, becoming the go-to voice while you figure out your content strategy. That is an amazing sentence. LinkedIn rewards consistency. The algorithm doesn't care about perfection. It cares about presence. Wow. Great. Cool. Hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.